Are you heading to Qatar for the World Cup this winter? You're going to have to stay connected and power up with a super fast 5G Qatar fan SIM card. What you get is 2 GB of data, 25 minutes of local calls, 15 minutes of international calls to over 120 global destinations. Super fast 5G data, no roaming fees. You can top up locally in Qatar to increase validity and your package, and it's suitable for all devices. Order it online at wellsim.com and it will be delivered to you in 3 to 5 days or next day delivery if you're in the USA or the UK. So save time and get yours now. The link is in the description. Power up and be ready to stay connected for the Qatar World Cup. Get 20% off in partnership with World Sim. Use the code DRSports20. Click the link to get connected.
Hello everybody and welcome to Game Day Preview with myself and AGT. Hi.
Hi Abby, how are you?
I'm alright, how are you?
Good to be back with you. I'm very well, thank you. We actually went to school together. I just thought I'd say that. Just why not?
We did. We went to primary school together.
Man.
That's why we have such a lovely friendship and
go.
bond. But enough about us. Let's have a look at, let's start with the 2 biggest games of the weekend.
Absolutely.
Should we start Chelsea, Arsenal this weekend?
I think so, yeah. Early kick-off on Sunday, 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock,
Not
early
a chance
doors.
to get in the pubs. I mean, that's why they do these early kick-offs, so they don't have more trouble outside the ground. But from what I can remember, and I might be wrong, but Arsenal's got a decent record at Stamford Bridge
Yeah, they
recently.
do. They actually really do have a good record against them, especially even when they haven't been in the form that they're in, they've had that record. Chelsea obviously coming off the back of that defeat to Brighton. It wasn't just a defeat, it was
a mullery.
It was a battering.
Potter got pottered.
Yes, and on the other hand, Arsenal dominating 5-0 against Nottingham Forest.
We said that would happen last week.
We did. We said that there would probably be quite a substantial scoreline. In terms of Chelsea, though, moving on from last week, but also taking a bit of a look back at it, what do they need to do differently this week?
Wow, I mean, they just got it all wrong. Tactically,
He changed the tactics, I believe, 4 times in that game, 3 or 4 times.
I'm not surprised, because I guess when things are going badly, you should change things up. But I think to start with, having that midfield that had never played together, and you've got, I think Conor Gallagher was like left wing back, and you had Sterling left or right wing back. So that's going to change. But listen, they're at home now, so they can afford to go with the bigger names in this one. I think a lot of those guys got rested in midweek. So Chelsea have to turn this around now. You don't lose 4-1 away at Brighton and then try and scrape a draw at home.
Have no answer, right?
Massive response. But they are playing against a team, unfortunately for them, who are the best team in the country right now.
Yeah, it's
pains me to say it.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point, as much as we don't like to admit that.
Especially you.
Especially me. But in terms of Arsenal, they are looking good. Are we definitely saying at the moment they are the ones to watch? Are they the ones to beat?
They are the ones to beat. I mean, everyone's been beaten now. So Arsenal fans, every year, they do this, who's going to get the closest to the invincible? And then as soon as the team that goes the longest without losing loses, they get the gold trophies out. They do their posts and that. So they are the team to beat. And I am going to go for a slim Arsenal away victory.
Are you?
Do you know, yeah. I'm a big fan of Arsenal this season.
Are you banking that because of maybe the Chilwell injury? Obviously, we know Reece James is out as well. Are you looking that there's some frailties in that Chelsea side? Or are you thinking more that Arsenal are just, it's in such great form?
A bit of both, to be honest, because Chelsea have so many injuries. They're probably going to have to play Aspilicueta again, which I know Chelsea fans weren't happy with before when he played against Brighton. So it's a mix between the injuries, plus Arsenal are on fire right now. And I don't know, there's some Chelsea fans. We had Matisse on the preview show last week who said he's not totally convinced by Potter's style so far. And you know, these Chelsea fans, as soon as you have a couple of bad results, they turn on you.
Turn on you quick.
Very quickly.
We are running that poll, by the way, guys, so make sure you go and vote. Currently, it is looking 63% Arsenal win.
It's just gone down to 57.
A lot of you on the fence.
I'm going to vote for an Arsenal win.
I think this might be a draw.
These early kickoffs do tend to throw up some draws. I mean, let's be honest. We had a discussion about this on the COP TV. When it's the early kickoff, especially midday, sometimes it's 12:30, but on a Sunday it's normally midday. How can you really be up for a massive game
I hate early kickoffs.
These guys are probably waking up at, what, 8 on the morning?
No, maybe even earlier.
I just
Dunno.
don't see how you can get fully up for it. And that's the fans and players, by the way, for a 12 o'clock kickoff. Let us know in the comments if you agree or you think I'm chatting absolute waffle.
Waffle. Do you like a 12 o'clock kickoff? I don't personally like a 12 o'clock kickoff. So what was your prediction scoreline?
I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. I'm going to go a draw on this one. I'm thinking it could be like... See, I think our game might be a draw, so...
We'll get to that.
We'll get to it. I'm going to put this as like a 2-2.
Desmond, yeah?
Desmond, yeah,
Okay.
let's go
I
for
can
a
see that
Desmond.
happening as well. But Chelsea need the win.
They
Let's not
do.
forget
They
that.
desperately need the win. I
That's
mean,
no
I
good
say
to
it's
them.
desperate, but I mean, we're having a season of 2 halves. So is it really that desperate if you're dropping points at this stage? We've got a very long season ahead to
Oh,
come
so
after.
Liverpool, it's cool to drop points now then?
It's
Sweet.
cool if Liverpool are dropping them.
Well, not this weekend. Let's
Not this
hope that
weekend.
doesn't happen. But no, I'm going for a slim Arsenal win.
Let's have a look at some of the super chats and see what you guys are saying.
Clara Bitsy, Chelsea always dangerous when they are down and hurt. Arsenal should be worried.
Okay.
Well, there's that whole bit and animal aspect of it. You know, can you lose 2 in a row? Do you come back and finish that horrible record and go back to a win?
Chelsea fans will be looking for a response, 100%. And Graham Potter will
It's
also
actually
be
a
looking for
really
one.
good time for these 2 teams to play against each other, I think. So, interesting game. Can't wait for it.
Absolutely. Right, moving on to the second game of the weekend, 4:30. Spurs taking on Liverpool. Now, we've both got a lot of injuries going on. Wins in midweek.
Yep.
Just.
Great win for you. I texted you, didn't I?
You did text me.
I texted you saying, what a win for you. Al,
Honestly, I mean,
in
any of you
midweek.
guys that are watching the watch along on Tuesday night with us.
I thought you'd be going a bit more mad than you
Do you
did.
know why? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't like to really watch Tottenham in public unless it's at the stadium.
Wow,
Because
okay.
like I
hold back.
I get quite nervous, especially with a game of like that magnitude.
Only one swear word when you celebrated that one.
No, I did swear a bit.
Under your breath?
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
more quiet. Yeah,
enough.
I was trying to minimize it. But to be fair, Tottenham were absolutely diabolical that first half. I was sitting here in just disbelief and despair. I could
It's
not
very
believe what I'm
Spursy,
watching.
that first half.
It is,
wasn't
and this is the thing. I mean, Spurs usually tend to turn up halfway through. So if the kickoff's at 4:30, we'll see you at 5:30.
Buzzard, yeah.
But unfortunately, Tottenham can't keep doing this, and I think that they will absolutely get found out. And even though you're not in fine form at the moment, and you also have, your own issues with injuries, I think that if you go 1-0 up, or we let you go 2-0 up, which is our new thing to do, who needs a 1-0 head start when you can have 2?
Exactly.
I think that it won't be easy and plain sailing for Tottenham to get back into it.
Yeah, first goal was massive in this game. If Tottenham, with that home crowd, can drum up a hostile atmosphere, then it could be a difficult game for Liverpool. But, last season, I think we were 2-0 up, and it was 2-2. So Conte knows how to get you back from defeats or losing positions, which he did last week against Bournemouth and did last year against Liverpool as well. So if we score the first goal, I'm rubbing my hands.
Yeah.
I really am excited about maybe a long
But
afternoon.
isn't it odd that you think that you're rubbing your hands about it, because you'd think that actually if you went 1-0 up, you think, oh no, actually Spurs are going to start turning this on.
You say that, but I think it's 13 games this season we've gone behind first. And trying to get
You
claw
might
a
even
game
want
back.
more than us.
Maybe, yeah, no, we've definitely got the most for that this season. But I think the win in midweek might help. Listen, Napoli hadn't lost a game this season in 21 games, and we managed to get over the line against them. And if it was no Champions League in the week and we went straight from that Leeds defeat into this one, I'd be pretty negative.
Yeah.
But considering we did get that goal, those 2 goals against Napoli, I'm a little bit more confident. So listen, I am going to back the team that I support to win.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're going to do the same as well. But it could be a draw. I mean, we're saying all this. It could well be a draw.
It could be. It could be a draw. In terms of kind of, your attacking situation,
Yeah.
who have you got up front at the moment?
So Diaz out, Jota out. It will be Nunez, Firmino and Salah that start. And whether we introduced Firmino into that number 10 role and then play Fabio Carvalho left wing forward, which is his favourite position, remains to be seen. But then that would make us lose someone in the midfield.
And your midfield at the moment is kind of your problem area, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no really goals or assists coming from the midfield, which is what we massively need. So it depends what formation Klopp goes with. But if we go with 3 in the midfield, I can see a draw. But if we go for it and do a 4-2-4 almost, then I can see us getting the win. Darwin Nunez, by the way.
Yeah, he's starting to turn it on. He's starting to look a bit better.
7 goals in 8 starts this season.
Yeah.
3 and 3 in the Champions League. Hopefully he can convert that into Sunday as well. I mean, he scores really hard chances and misses really easy ones.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he
I have
could be
noticed that with
unreal.
him.
He could be a flop. Who knows?
Who knows what's going to happen? But I think, Spurs have...
Kulusevski back? This is what we're seeing in the
This is what
chat.
we're saying in the comments. I can't say I've heard too much about Kulusevski coming back. He is back in light training, but I would be very surprised to see him if he's in the squad. But whether or not starting, I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, no Son now as well.
Eye injury?
It's a fractured eye socket or something, and he is definitely going to miss this game, and he is a doubt for the World Cup. But
Normally
even
plays
so,
well against Liverpool.
He does usually. Look, I really hope that Kulusevski is back. We've been missing him all season, and obviously if he's not, then we have the issue of it kind of just being Kane up front. Obviously you've got Lucas Moura, who has great work rate, but probably not the quality.
So Kane, Brian, Gill, maybe?
I don't think he'll start Gill.
Really?
I think he'll do 2 up front.
So Kane and...
He really doesn't fancy Gill, but every time I've seen him, he looks good.
Yeah, you said last week
He
you
looks
wanted to
good.
see a
I
bit more
definitely
of
wanted
Gill.
to see him. But I think it's going to be a very evenly matched game. Battle of the injuries, really,
Pretty
for both
much.
of us.
Højbjerg on fire as well. at the minute.
Højbjerg, he's honestly very underrated
Some
this
finish,
season.
by the way.
Great finish. But
Great guy as well, from
he-
an interview I saw recently.
Yes, I saw that. It was a lovely
Yeah,
touching interview
touching.
about his dad.
Yeah.
And in terms of Højbjerg, he's actually had a lot of stick since joining. Everyone kind of being like, don't really fancy him. He's not really good. But actually, he's been our most consistent player.
What was the game you lost at home? Was it Newcastle, where for 32 games in a row he started?
Yeah.
Doesn't play against Newcastle, and look what happens.
Yeah, he's kind of one of those that's not the most glamorous player, but he always steps up, and he's a leader in that team. And
I like him.
I think that Spurs
His
need more
pedigree's
leaders
great,
like
though.
that. Yeah, him and Bentancur have been by far our best players. And
Bentancur, I'm liking him as well, man.
Fantastic signing from us. So yeah, give me your prediction.
Obviously, we are going to do a COP TV prediction / preview / combined 11, so make sure you watch that as well after. But I've got to back the boys. 2-1 Liverpool.
We've also totally glazed over the fact that you lost to Leeds last weekend, but we'll talk about that with Leeds in a
No,
sec.
no. We spoke about that on Monday.
Yeah, I know,
What
but
do
we
you
can
mean?
still bring it up.
No,
It's still
no,
relevant.
that's
Still
old
relevant.
news now. Yesterday's headlines, that.
Still relevant.
Nah.
I part of me wants to say this is going to be a draw, but I will go with something different and back Tottenham.
Back your team.
I'm going to go with a 2-1 Spurs win.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I equally can see this being a 1-1.
Yeah, we've had some really controversial games recently. You know, if you look back to, I was at 2017-18 one when Kane dived twice in the last 5 minutes, got 2 penalties.
Oh,
Victor Wanyama scored an
Do you know what
absolute
the one-
belter.
That was the one where Lamella
Yep.
got the penalty. I loved that one. That was great.
Yeah, I bet he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but do you know what? You don't forget. You don't think they're penalties. Champions League wasn't a penalty. So there
Well,
we go.
why did he give it then, Ab?
Don't know.
You were never going to win that game, though. Let's be
No,
honest.
but it's still not the point. It wasn't a penalty.
But you're
so if
go-
you're moaning
so-
about things
so
not
you're
being-
talking about
you're
something
moaning
from
about
last
things
week.
Not being a penalty.
I'm talking about something last week. You're going back to June the 1st, 2019.
You were just going
that
back to
was.
2018.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But looking forward to this one. I think it's
Yes.
potentially going to be the best game on Sunday. I know Chelsea
Potentially
play
could be.
Arsenal, but I think this one is top of the bill for me.
Let's see what happens. Right, moving on. Leeds taking on Bournemouth on Saturday. Leeds going to be super buzzing off that win against Liverpool last week.
Yeah,
Massive
talk about it
win
now.
for them. Bournemouth, on the other hand, obviously were 2-0 up against Spurs, ended up 3-2 losing.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on this game?
I like this game because I can't really give you a winner. I mean, Bournemouth's form since they lost 9-0 at Anfield has actually been really impressive, and I wouldn't be surprised if Gary O'Neill gets the job full time. I think he deserves it. He's just gone about his business in a nice, calm way. But Leeds, obviously, they're going to be buoyant after their massive win at Anfield, which, you know, was the first win for an away team at Anfield with fans in the stadium since April 2017. So, but it would be very typical Leeds to win that game and then lose at home.
Yeah, it would be.
You know, it's
The
how
roller
they've gone.
coaster.
But I think Jesse Marsch deserves a lot of credit for coming to Liverpool and getting
They're not
the
happy
win.
with him, you know. They're not happy and
Well-
convinced with Jesse Marsch, but they are up to 15th in the table, Leeds.
Yeah, and if they win this, they go above Bournemouth. It's pretty much 14th versus 15th, this one. But no Sinistera for Leeds, who's been really good. Leeds have always got loads of injuries. Bamford needs to start scoring goals again.
Yeah, he needs to kind
For sure.
of kind of recapture some form.
Do you know what? I'm going to go with 2-1 to Leeds. But it wouldn't surprise me if they drop points.
Yeah, I can kind of see that as well. I think this is going to be a tight one. I'm going to go 1-0 to Leeds in this game. Manchester City taking on Fulham. Haaland, we're waiting kind of for confirmation from Pep if he's 100% back in.
Yeah.
We know he's recovered. Is he going to start?
I can't tell you that. I hope he doesn't, obviously. But I don't know if you'd agree with me, but we've seen 2 Man Cities this season one with Haaland in and one without Haaland in. Now, yes, they won the other night, but they had to bring De Bruyne on to find that key to unlock the door. And what a pass that was for Alvarez, by the way. Great finish from Alvarez, who I think when he signed probably thought, hey, hang on, I'm Aguero's replacement
Yeah,
here.
I'm going to be getting all the
And then Haaland
the
signed,
action, all
and
the
then he was like,
games.
on the bench, son. So realistically, Fulham don't really stand a chance. We know that Mitrovic has been
Fulham have been
probably the
great.
the second best striker in the league this season, but I just can't see past anything other than a City win.
Okay.
And I say this most weeks on this show, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it is hard to kind of predict anything else, but it would be interesting to see it get mixed up, would you not say?
Yeah, MKH 3-1 in the comments. Man City 0, Fulham 2.
Oh!
Jimmy James Computers, shut up, City will win.
Wow, very hard.
All right, chill out.
You know, no problem.
All right, I said they'll win.
Okay. I mean, look, it probably is going to be a City win, but sometimes you love the underdog. So let's have your prediction.
3-1 City, I'm going for.
Is that thinking Haaland starts or in general?
Regardless.
3-1 City.
If he starts, it could be 4 or 5. But I mean, we all saw this video of him limping the other day.
He's
Right?
like
You don't
he's
just
a robot,
limp
man.
and then play on Sunday.
He's a robot.
Well, I don't know. Maybe the doctors will patch him up in time, but I think he could be out for a little bit longer than they think.
The way you have to think about it is that he's not going to the World Cup. So even if he's playing with a slight niggle,
Play him. Yeah.
because he's got time to rest. Got a month to recover.
A 75% Haaland is still enough to
And
sit in the box.
I think what we noticed, and we touched on it, I think on Round Table on Monday, is that you notice when they played against Leicester, you know, they don't have someone how they had last time. They don't have a Gabriel Jesus. They don't have Sterling to kind of fill in the gap. And obviously Julian Alvarez has only just kind of got there.
Yeah.
So you do notice that slight difference, you know, not having as many outlets and resources at your disposal. But when you've got Haaland, I think that, you know, it's
one-way traffic.
It's one-way
really.
traffic. It's kind of
By the way, big up to everyone in the comments who is rating Abby's hair today.
Yeah, sorry, we're going for a new look today.
Yeah,
this is having my hair washed.
I didn't even
when I get
realise your
home.
hair wasn't actually blonde.
Yeah, we've taken the blonde out of it, guys. We're going back to the natural.
Let's get a poll
blonde.
up.
Yeah, no, because they're going to be like a preferred blonde. But usually it wouldn't be up like this. It's just because it's hair wash day and we need to put the essential oils in.
Slick Rick business.
Slick Rick. Right, moving on. Nottingham Forest facing Brentford. As we know, Forest got that absolute battering.
Yeah, I mean, they beat Liverpool and then they get battered by Arsenal. It's just typical Liverpool, that. I actually think this one's got a lot of goals in, to be honest.
Do you? Brentford drew last time out as well.
Yeah, Brentford, again, they're sitting in, where are they? 11th in the table, very respectable. But no Ivan Toney. 5 yellow cards he's picked up, and it's before that kind of grace period where they wipe out the 5 and then you get banned. So without him, less of a goal threat massively.
Yeah,
he scores most games, if I'm honest. Whenever he gets a chance, he'll take it. People in the comments saying he's injured, but we've also just read now that he will be missing after 5 yellows, so he's not playing either way. So take him out the team.
Yeah,
massive difference.
I totally agree with you. And on Forest, do you think it's kind of that thing when you get promoted and you spend all this money and sign, you know, 19, 20, 25, 23 players in the end? I think it worked out at something like that. Is that just overkill? We've seen Fulham do that before and go straight back down. Not to that extent, to be fair. I've never seen any team do it to that extent. But is that sometimes a bit of a hindrance that you don't actually know who you've taken kind of the core of the team out and you've got all these new players in?
I guess time will tell eventually, but right now what we're seeing is it's not working. 2 wins this season. Both of them have come via 1-0 scorelines. Taiwo Awoniyi scoring both those goals against West Ham and Liverpool respectively. But no side has had fewer shots on target this season than Forest. So we're still waiting for Dennis to bang the goals in. Still waiting for Gibbs-White to turn up, if I'm honest. Yeah. Still waiting for Jesse Lingard to do something.
And there is talent in there, you know.
It's not like the players that they've bought aren't good players. That's not the debate here. It's can they gel in time?
Can they play together?
Because you don't get time. However, they have backed the manager, so I respect that. But I guess time will tell.
Maybe
if they go down,
maybe the World Cup is a good thing for them.
I think it will be, because a lot of these players that they've signed won't be going. But time will tell. If they go down, we'll say, didn't work. But if they stay up, it's worked. So who knows? Let's
see. Any time will tell. Scoreline, please.
I'm going to go with a draw. I'm going to go 2-2.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm going to put this as a 0-0, guys. Sorry to be boring, but Well,
we'll be covering it on the Saturday football show.
Yes,
make sure. So hopefully it isn't a 0-0 because we like goals on that show.
Right, Wolves. What is going on at Wolves?
Do you know what? It's been... I've got a Wolves mate, Matt Cooper, and he's been hating on Wolves. Still supports them, obviously, but he's been hating on them for a while. Just because of the lack of anything. Lack of shots, lack of goals, lack of wins. They obviously got rid of the manager and then bring Diego Costa in to kind of give them a bit more of a goal threat. And then he headbutts Benme and gets sent off, which is very Diego Costa. Maybe he gets away with that in the Brazilian leagues. I don't know. Maybe that's...
I mean, just... Wolves
3-game ban though. They
Wolves
can't afford to have him out for 3 games.
Exactly. You know, they're second bottom. Forest, if they win this weekend, will go above Wolves if they don't capitalise against Brighton. And for me, I mean, I think Diego Costa is always going to be a risk, I think, when you sign him. We know the talent he does have, but in terms of, you know, I guess the personality of the player, you know that he does have that in his locker. So it's something that you always have to be wary of. And Wolves don't have really the time to kind of be doing
messing
that.
around.
In terms of the manager, they still haven't obviously got anything locked in concrete. They've been looking at the former Madrid manager, haven't they? Julian
Lopetegui.
Yeah. So they're having a look at him. But again, it's all very like not really sure if they're coming or going. Wolves, are they just trying to make it to the World Cup and have some time to reset?
Yeah, if you're in the second half of the table right now, I think most teams are looking forward to that World Cup. Realistically, Wolves this season aren't going to get into Europe, so they're going to have to just stay up and then maybe rebuild for next year. I don't know, maybe is there a few more names that could be thrown into that hat? I know it might be a bit outdated now, but I could see someone like Rafa Benitez going there, steadying the ship, similar to what he did with Newcastle.
Big Sam?
Big Sam, I mean,
when
is he still going to get work?
When the chips
I don't think they're in that... I don't think
if the season stops now, they're getting relegated.
For sure. Listen, they haven't done well, and Brighton have beaten Wolves 8 times in the top flight, which is their highest tally against any side. So history tells you that Brighton win this one. To be honest with you, Abby, I can't really see anything else here than a Brighton away win.
I can't either. I mean,
I'm going to go 2-0. That's generous.
They've been looking fantastic. I think even since Potter's left, they've really kind of galvanised.
Nothing's really changed.
Yep.
Really.
I think De Zerbi's also been, you know, fantastic since he's come in. You know, maybe hasn't been... Well, it has been pretty consistent, actually. I was going to say it hasn't been as consistent.
Yeah,
I
mean,
have been.
They got that big draw at Anfield, then I think they didn't win for 4 or 5.
They lost to Spurs. But again, you know, seeing how they can pick teams apart, you know, maybe it just needed a little while for him to implement what he wanted.
Dyche for Wolves, Mustafa says?
Don't know, Wolves
Still
fans.
out of a job.
Wolves fans, if you're in the chat, let us know what you think in terms of Sean Dyche, potentially.
Trossard, though.
What a player.
We keep, every single week, we bring his name up. And do you know what? He's on a free if they let him go in the summer. Is there a chance that he has, I mean, his stocks are already high. If he has a great World Cup, comes back in January and goes, actually, I want Brighton to get some money for me. So he could go for 50 million in January.
Yeah, if someone wants to buy him, you know, Premier League proven, you know, the quality he's got. So why not?
Absolutely. Big up to JY in the comments. AGT and Abby, dynamic duo for sure.
Guys.
And this is a Mexico kit from Charenco.
I do really like it.
Yes, they're actually their away kit for this World Cup.
Very cool.
Really cool
like the
fabric as well. Got this in New York.
Right, 5:30 on Saturday. Everton facing Leicester.
Good game to watch, this one.
I mean, Everton 0-0 last week, wasn't it, with Fulham?
Yeah.
Leicester, arguably, they could have actually got something out of that game with City last week if they'd have just kind of taken the handbrake off earlier than maybe the last 15 minutes. Can you say?
Agreed. Great strike from Tielemans on the edge of the box. Really clever. Reminded me of Scholes away at Aston Villa back in the day in 06-07. So again, I agree with you. If they did take their foot off the brakes a little bit more, they could have got a draw out of that game. So I think going into this game, they're going to be looking to win. Realistically, I mean, away at Everton can be a tricky place to go to, but if Leicester get that first goal, I don't know. I think it could be a long one for Everton because they just don't score many
Leicester
goals.
is still in the bottom 3 at the moment. Obviously, with the win, that can take them out. That would take them 11, 12 then. That would take them up to 14th.
Yeah,
around about 14th
and as we've said, you know, there's only 7 points between 8th place and the relegation zone, so it's still so tight.
Yeah, it is super, super tight. But Leicester do need to be doing more, in my opinion.
But they've only scored.
They've still got quality in their squad. They've still got Tielemans. They've still got Maddison. They've still got people like James Justin.
Vardy can come off the bench and score. Patson Daka, Iheanacho.
They have still
Harvey
got talent.
Barnes.
I think it's just a lot of staleness. A lot of staleness there.
Everton unbeaten in the last 5 against Leicester. But this is the big thing for me. They've only scored 6 Premier League goals at Goodison Park this season, and they've all been scored by different players.
Yeah. It's a fair point. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is not really stepping up to it since coming back from
Yeah,
injury.
not
is
really. So with that in mind, I'm going to go with, it wouldn't surprise me if this is a 0-0 draw, which would be horrible to watch.
I
obviously.
think this might be an Everton win. I
Okay.
think I might go 2-1.
Okay, interesting. Let us
Everton.
know in the comments.
Yeah.
Iwobi obviously having a great season. I have to
Yeah.
say that. MK going for a Leicester win, 2-0 away. Kirsten going for a 2-2 draw. And Cass the Gardener for a Leicester 2-0 win as well.
Yeah.
Spurs should buy Maddison. I think they need a cam.
Absolutely.
Lysander.
Completely agree with you, Lysander. It's just the price tag. Obviously, we saw in the summer when Newcastle tried to go for James Maddison, they were looking somewhere north of, I think, 80 million.
Yeah.
And there's no, I don't
But
believe
you know
anyone
what,
in the
though?
Premier League is going to pay that for James
I
Maddison.
agree with you. No one will pay that. But if you go on his numbers since
Yeah, it's worth it.
2018, I mean, he's got more goals and assists than most
If I was
English
in
players.
charge, I'd buy him.
I'd take
There's
him.
no way that Daniel Levy is going to sanction 80 million for James Maddison.
Yes, I agree. He won't.
Not a chance. All right, moving on back to Sunday. Aston Villa taking on Manchester United. Unai Emery is back in the Premier League.
He is. Replaces Steven Gerrard at Villa Park. With that Premier League experience that he's already got, I think it's a very good option to go with. And again, he could be the guy that turns Villa from just about staying up to really pushing them into the
Great
top half.
manager.
I'd like
He's a
that to
great
happen.
manager.
I think he's had a lot of unnecessary stick.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole good evening thing, that was really... you're laughing about it now.
I'm laughing at
Good evening,
you.
That he did say that, but do you know what? How dare you criticise
Absolutely,
someone
the
who's
guy
tried
is
to
learning
come
English.
and learn the language, and it's not a bad thing. It's a courteous thing to say that. So
100%.
you know the meme pages are going to clip all that
Yeah,
up.
of course they are. There's going to be
and
good
that's how
evenings
it is.
everywhere. But
But I like
you've got to
Unai
give
Emery.
credit to the guy. Absolutely give credit to him.
Won Villarreal their first trophy in their history, by the way.
And you know,
beat
Villa is
Man United.
Villa is a sleeping giant.
It
Like
is.
he could be the person to take them back to some type of European football again. And just get them playing consistently. I mean, look at them. They beat. Who did they beat 4-0 a few weeks ago?
Brentford.
Thank you. And then they go and lose 4-0 to Newcastle. So they need to get some type of consistency going. And I think he's a great manager to try and come in and do
This is a
that.
massive Premier League game fixture. Aston Villa versus United.
Test for
2
United.
o'clock. Massive test. Do you know what? I'm going for a Villa win.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Is that your
I know
Liverpool
everyone
side
thinks
coming
I'm
out?
very salty to Manchester United, and that's what it is. You know, I'm not going to confirm or deny that. However, I just think this is the game where he gets Watkins, Buendia, and Ings firing, and I think Coutinho as well. Remember, his
Yeah.
debut for Villa last season was against United. He scored.
There are
And,
players that have got so much quality in there as well. You know, even someone like Bailey as well. There's so much
what a
quality in
guy.
that side that they should be doing far better than they have been.
Of course, you would go against United, says Erica. George as well. AGT always goes against United. Such a neutral panel, this.
I think I've been
Well,
very
listen,
neutral so far.
yeah.
I've been very neutral.
Listen, United, good win in the week as well. They're starting to find some form. Unlucky with the Varane injury. Do you know what? I'm going to give him some credit here. Lisandro Martinez.
Stepped
At the
up
start of the
massively.
season. Is that a joke?
No, it actually wasn't a joke, but now you
It
say
could
it.
be.
It could be, but it wasn't.
Could be a joke. From the start of the season, I mean, that's not even a word. A lot of pundits were writing him off. And I think
Because of
it was
his height.
incorrect because of his height. And did you see Virgil van Dijk's overlap yesterday with Gary Neville?
I'm yet to watch it.
He said height is nothing, and you wouldn't have achieved this much in your career if you were just because you're small.
It's the way he reads the game, and obviously you would look at it and say, well, he is particularly short for a centre half, but the way he reads the game is
He's the kind
fantastic.
of guy that you'd hate to play against, but you'd love him on your team.
Yes.
He's a bit like Romero.
Yeah, a little
that
bit.
You've got.
Yeah.
Obviously, Romero's a bit taller. But yeah, I'm going to go for a Villa win. But I do think United, as much as it pains me to say it, are slowly but surely getting back.
A little
Whatever
bit.
that means, I don't know. We'll see at the end of the season.
They're
But
getting
a slim
consistent.
Villa win.
They're getting a bit more consistent.
Bit of a shock here.
Yes.
I'm going to go with.
I'm probably still going to back United on this one. I kind of want to go. I think
is
it's a
an
bit
easy
harsh.
place to go,
My gut's telling me to do like a 3-1 United, but I think that's disrespectful. So I'm actually going to go a 2-1
New manager
United.
bounce, though.
It could be a new manager bounce. I'm going to go 2-1 United. I might regret that decision, but I am going to do that. Be interesting. Big test for United, as we said.
100%.
Right, Southampton taking on Newcastle. I mean, Newcastle, we just have to give them praise, don't we?
They keep getting praise every week, and it's deserved. Right now, and not just right now, if you look at 2022 as a calendar year, they're in the top 4.
They are.
So
they're
this
in the top
talk
4.
about, I mean, you said it last week, can Newcastle get in the top 4? They've shown for almost 12 months that they can stay in that conversation.
They've just got to sustain it.
And who knows, man? Imagine Newcastle in the Champions League next season.
Another one, been a sleeping giant for way too long.
Giant.
Need to get those clubs back into
They
it.
do. And you know what? Southampton, again, one of those teams that can turn up when they want.
Again, Southampton are an odd one. They're 17th in the table. Sometimes they're good, and then sometimes they're so poor. Is that down to the manager, or is that down to just Southampton? You know, they've sold so many of their key players over the years. It's what is the expectation of Southampton?
I don't even think they know. They're so inconsistent. There's times last season where I think they beat Chelsea 3-0, and you're thinking, wow. Because let's not forget, Southampton, I think the stats here, they're only the 11th Premier League team to reach 900 games. So again, we're talking about sleeping giants. What an academy, what a football club.
Incredible. They've produced so many amazing players over the years.
Unfortunately for them, pretty much a selling club, and they struggle to hold on to their best. But I'm a fan of Southampton, and I do think if they can get something out of Newcastle, maybe that turns their season around a little bit, but then it will be very Southampton of them to get a result and then lose the week after. So Newcastle, though, if they can win this one, I mean, we're going to have to start, if you're not already, you're going to have to start really thinking about them in those kind of European places, because they deserve to be there. But
And big credit to Eddie Howe. Very big credit to Eddie Howe.
Massive credit to Eddie Howe. No Joel Linton for this one, by the way. Again, a one-match ban for 5 yellows.
But will that be a big miss? Let's see. They've still got.
You can
players
put Willock in there. You can put Longstaff, either of the Longstaffs. But I do think Joel Linton. I mean, what a move that was.
I know.
Moving him from taking the pressure off of him
and just putting him in
and saying, listen, you're a big lad. Get in midfield, be that guy between the midfield and
became a whole new player. A whole new player.
What a transformation that is.
And credit to Eddie Howe for doing that and the coaching staff. Right, prediction, please. Give me your scoreline.
3-1 Newcastle.
3-1 Newcastle.
Newcastle.
I might just go for an upset here, just to make things
why not?
different. Maybe like 1-1.
1-1. Big up to Harry Haran in the comments. Of course, AGT is a fan of Southampton. I mean, we have taken
all of their players.
Mane, Ricky Lambert, Lallana, Klein, Virgil, Ox. He's come from there as
You've
well.
literally just taken everybody.
But we have given them a lot of money for these. You know, I'm pretty sure they've made a new academy off the money we've given them alone. So
yeah, and then when they come through, you'll take them. You'll take them lot.
Absolutely.
Right, on to the final game of the weekend, which is West Ham against Crystal
London derby.
Palace. It is a London derby. Palace, they lost last weekend.
Didn't they win 1-0?
Yeah, ignore me.
Yep.
Sorry, misread that. They did win 1-0 last weekend against Southampton.
Against the Saints.
And West Ham, on the other hand, lost 1-0. That's what I was talking about.
They did.
So, West Ham, for me this season, are they disappointing you or not?
Yeah, just a little. If there was a lever that said happiness, sadness, I would go just about have disappointed. Average. Big win in the week for them. They're looking good in Europe, but again, since they've been in Europe, they found it difficult to have full intensity for Thursday and Sunday.
And it's very difficult to juggle that.
It is. And Arsenal are showing you that it can be done with the right rotation. But West Ham, I think they won, I can't remember the team they played against, but they won last night. And again, East London versus South London, this is going to be a tasty one, you know.
Yeah,
I haven't looked at it. I think this is a draw. I'm going to go 2-2 here.
Did you expect more from the signings that they've made? West Ham.
Yeah, I mean, Paquetá has been injured.
What about Scamacca?
Scamacca has shown glimpses of absolute quality. He was decent at Anfield a couple of weeks ago when I saw him up close. And they've got these players in and around him, the Fornauses, they've got a load of, Paqueta's obviously out, but they've got a load of players that can supply, and they bring on Antonio to kind of be that game changer late on in the day. But no, I'm going to go with a draw here. I think this has got a draw written all over it.
Okay. I'm going to go with a 1-0 West Ham win on this one. I think that West Ham, I want to see more consistency in them, because obviously they've kind of wowed us for like 2 2 and a bit seasons or so. But I do understand that kind of drop off does come when you're playing Thursday, Sunday.
Yeah. Cornet, I want to see more from him.
Yeah, as well. That was a good signing.
Really good
good signing from Burnley. So I need to see some of these signings kind of come a bit more to fruition.
And is there an option for them to play Antonio and Scamacca up front?
I'm sure there is an option. It's
Because
just
they don't
whether or
necessarily
not they utilise it.
They don't really go with 2 up front, but I'd like to see it. David Moyes is very conservative sometimes, and I'd like to see him release the shackles a little bit more, and I think West Ham fans would probably want to see that as well.
Take the shackles off the feet.
Take the shackles off, Moisey.
They can dance. Right, that is everything for this week's Game Day preview. Make sure you tune in Saturday Football Show with AGT. Who's on it with you?
We've got a great... Actually, do I want to release the panel yet?
Okay.
Just know, we've got an elite one, Champions League panel for tomorrow. Champions League. Absolutely. Wow. So really looking forward to it. It's going to be a belter. So make sure you tune in.
Yep. And any watch-alongs this weekend, make sure you come over here to DR Sports and watch along with us. And obviously, we'll be back on Monday for Round Table Talk.
Ooh,
it's gonna be feisty on Monday, isn't it?
Yeah, because gonna have to keep me and you apart.
You and me apart,
yep.
And you've got
Robbie and Matisse.
Yeah. So.
Alternate seats for that one, for
Make sure you guys tune in, and we will see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, and good luck to your teams.
Are you heading to Qatar for the World Cup this winter? You're going to have to stay connected and power up with a super fast 5G Qatar fan SIM card. What you get is 2 GB of data, 25 minutes of local calls, 15 minutes of international calls to over 120 global destinations, super fast 5G data, no roaming fees. You can top up locally in Qatar to increase validity and your package, and it's suitable for all devices. Order it online at wellsim.com and it will be delivered to you in 3 to 5 days or next day delivery if you're in the USA or the UK. So save time and get yours now. The link is in the description. Power up and be ready to stay connected for the Qatar World Cup. Get 20% off in partnership with WorldSim. Use the code DRSports20. Click the link to get connected.